Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I made this video just for the sake of doing a revision on our previous exercise that we have already did. Actually, I've already recorded some exercises, right? However, due some technical issue, all those videos is corrupted. Alright, so I will touch several issues that I think that is important so that you can go and have a review on the topic itself. Alright, so I'll be very quick, but I promise in this video it should be informative and easy for you to understand. Okay, however, in this video, I'll be very quick to touch on every chapter that does not exist in my YouTube video so far. Right. So for exercise 1 and 2, okay, it's already I think it doesn't have any technical programming into it, so you just have to read it, right? But starting from chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6 is already in my YouTube channel. Alright, so you can check these exercises out in that channel later. Alright. So let's look at Python numbers, right? So Python numbers is about the data type, right? The data type of in Python, which um, you all have already gone through, right? So in order for us to do calculation, for us to do equation, right? So you need to know and understand the three data type that represents number, which is integer, float, and complex value. Right. If you go through all the exercises, right? So the exercises is very self-explanatory. Okay, where this is an example of assignment, all right? Assignment of so don't really look into the um, execution code part. Okay, if you got confused, you just copy the example. Okay, copy example here and replace whatever that is inside here. Sometimes when I do explanation, the content of the code itself has been changed. Alright, so just change back to the original one, which is supposed to be from the example, and run it. Alright, and you should get the correct answer for each code that was run. Right, so for in this example, it prints the type of the assigned variable, which is integer lah. Okay, so if you want to print out the value, you just remove the type method or function. It will produce the original value that was assigned to the variable x. Alright, so in this case, when we print x, it will print 1 because on top here 1 is assigned to x. Alright, so if you use type method, of course it will print out the data type. Alright, so same goes with every other data type that represent number in Python. Alright, so this is for float and complex number. Alright, so everything here is explainable, and then we have another method or function, which is the random library, which you have to import to produce a range of random number, right? So range is called upon by uh, importing, okay, random. Okay, so in this case, I think I choose to call the full random library. Okay, because we have already import random srn here. If I run this one, I can actually type in rn here as well. Okay, rn, so rn represent random. All right, hold on, so why is it not printing? Let me check. So it's supposed to be printing, okay, because it could be code here. All right, so that should do it. Okay, I think that's enough for exercise 7. Exercise it is very easy because it's about casting a data type. So if you have already known what's several data type in Python, so you can interchange the data type from integer to a float and float to an integer and so forth, right? But you have to test because some data type cannot be changed. For example, if you have a how do I say it, a uh, complex number, okay, if I am not mistaken, you have to try it out, all right? So a complex number can't be typecast into integer and float, but float and integer can be typecast to a complex number, right? So bear in mind, test it out, all right, so that you will understand better, right? So that's it for exercise number 8. Okay, exercise number 9 is Python string. All right, Python string is very complex. All right, so most question will dwell across Python string. Okay, so Python string, you have to go through the example again. It's very self-explanatory. You just run the codes. It should be able to show you how things work, right? So if you go back to some of the exercises that we have already gone through, for example, in Python arrays or Python collections, which is list, tuple, set, and dictionary, right? So you can traverse through these values, all right? So using index, all right? So because when you create a string, automatically the string will produce how do I say it, an automatic index, all right, that starts with index 0, right? And you can access all the letters, all right, characters in the string using those indexes, right? And by the way, okay, if you go downwards, okay, so string has several methods, right? So the methods would be used in order to change, to edit, okay, whatever um, string that is created by assigning some sort of an array of characters to the string, right? So when first we would assign the string values to a variable, all right? So from that variable, you can use any of the method here that is listed in order to produce something else, all right? So this is the description, but you have to try it on your own in order to understand, all right? So there's a lot of example here that you can go through on your own, all right? Okay, that's it for exercise number 9. And then we have Python Boolean. All right, Python Boolean is mostly used to represent two values, true and false, all right? So uh, for any example that represent this value are the mathematical operation that is evaluated in the if else statement, right, where we have already also learned later in our exercises, and I think we have already covered this, all right? See here, so an if statement has some sort of mathematical statement, all right? So it's an expression, we call it expression. So these expressions will either be true or false. So the true and false value are actually Python booleans, all right? So there's a lot of way to generate Python boolean value, okay? And most of the value are true except for several things, all right? So you just have to know that these are uh, the things that will produce false value, all right? And other than a wrong statement, all right, so this initially this particular expression is true. However, if you change the value of x, this expression may be false. So if the expression is false, it will carry that value, and um, the if statement will determine whether to execute the body of the if statement or not. If it's true, then it will do the body of the if it's not true, then it will continue with the code and execute other ifs or else if. All right. I think that is what I can say about this chapter. All right. And we haven't got through class yet, so I'll get to this example when we reach exercise on class. All right. So and then exercise 11 operators is about Python booleans. All right. So mathematical expression, how to do assignment of operator, right? So all these again, you need to test yourself with the exercises in order for you to understand more. All right. Okay, and then we have the Python collections. All right. So Python collections is Python list, tuple, sets, and dictionary. Right. So to be quick about it, so that you all can go and have a look and do the exercise on your own. Python collection arrays are actually represent arrays in Python, right? So there's a difference between all four, and each of these Python collection has a purpose to it. All right. So list is a list which is ordered, right? Why is ordered? Because it is indexed, right? Similar to string. All right. The index will start at 0, and it is changeable. It allows duplicates. All right. For tuple is also ordered. It creates the index, but however, when created, you cannot change. Okay, you cannot change the value inside the tuple. And tuple also allows duplicate members similar to list, but the only difference would be how you create tuple. So list is usually created by using the square brackets. So list is created by a how do I say it? A round bracket. All right. And then we have a set and dictionary which is created in a curly bracket, where both set and dictionary is an unordered and unindexed collection, which is for set. But for dictionary, you have a key to create index, right? So that you can call upon the a value that is created in data dictionary. All right. So with that being explained, so each of these Python collections arrays have a method to it. So if you scroll down at the bottom of the example here, okay, so there's a lot of list method for list, right? So if you go through Python tuple, okay, Python tuple has its own method, right? But it's limited lah. Okay, because Python tuple, you can't do much, because when you create a Python tuple, you cannot change. You cannot delete the value inside it, because you delete the value inside Python tuple, you are intending to change the original value of the tuple, right? And you cannot update, you cannot change the value, you cannot add more value to it, right? However, you can produce another tuple from an older version of tuple, right? So there's a workaround. All right, so have a look at it. All right, there's a workaround on updating tuple. You have to change to list, and then you change back to tuple, things like that. Right, and then we have the Python sets. Again, Python sets also has its own method. If you scroll down, okay, downward, okay, these are the methods that is available for Python sets. Again, Python sets is unordered, but the best thing about Python set is that you don't doesn't allow duplicates. All right, so if you need something to be unique, all right, so you want to grab something, and when you want to make it unique, so you can set your variable to Python sets. Right, and then the last of the how do I say it, the um, exercise about arrays or collections is Python dictionaries, right? So Python dictionaries is some sort of like a customized version of list, where you can create your own keys, which similar to an index, all right? So in this case, the brand, model, and year are actually the index, which is called keys, all right? So it is unindexed, all right? Sorry, initially when you create a set, it is unindexed, but when it become a dictionary, it is indexed, because Python dictionary has keys and values. All right. So this is how you do it. So both keys and values are separated by a colon. All right, so on the left side is the key and the right side is the values. So how would you use it? So please do the exercises again. It's self-explanatory. You should be able to understand because it's in English. And again, this is just a quick revision. You can create a how do I say it? A nested dictionary, okay, for this example. And these are the methods that you can use when you create dictionary. So basically, for exercise 12, 13, 14, and 15, some of the exercises are actually the same. The explanation is the same, but some of it produce different results and some of it produce similar results, right? So again, in order for you to understand, you have to try it on your own. Right, I think this is just enough for this quick review. All right, so I hope it will somehow help you with your revision and understanding, and help you to answer your upcoming tests. All right, so thank you very much. um, so I'll see you later. All right, thank you.